As you work with BC Estimator and integrate your projects with BC Connect, you are able to store your BC Estimator job file on your local system, as has been described in the previous videos. But you also have the option to store your BC Estimator job file for projects that you integrate with BC Connect on the BC Connect site. This allows you to have access to this job file in the future from multiple different locations and by multiple different users. If you plan to store your BC Estimator job file for a particular project on the BC Connect site, your starting place for that project can be a little bit different than was previously described in the other videos. We're still going to start that project based on a particular template file, but instead of creating folders and files and moving those items around on our local system, we'll simply start by opening BC Estimator, coming to File and New, and we're going to perform a New From for this particular template. We could choose for this template to do either a New From Project, New From Project Clear Inputs, or New From Profile, which all have slightly different behaviors. But in this case, we'll just choose New From Profile. So we make that selection from Profile, and here you can see that we are in the folder on my local system where I have stored my BC Estimator templates. I have a couple different ones for the different types of projects that I work on. In this case, I'm going to choose my generic BC Estimator template and click Open. At this point, BC Estimator will create a brand new project file based on that particular template. Once the project is open, as we've demonstrated in the other videos, we'll come to the BC Connect menu, find our location, the builder for which this project is being done, identify the project, and finally the design ticket that we're going to attach to. And also, as noted before, if any of these builders or projects or design ticket lists don't have the items that we need, we can choose to add in what is required for this particular job by clicking on these plus buttons over here, and we'll be taken to the BC Connect site where we can create the items that are needed, and then use the refresh buttons to make those items available. And now we'll take one additional step since we want this file to be saved on the BC Connect site. We'll check the Save Job Files to BC Connect checkbox, and an additional box will appear where we can enter the file name for this project, what we want this job file to be called. We'll give it a name that's appropriate for the project, and then click Save. At this point, we get asked to confirm that we want to do this and attach to this design ticket, and we click Yes. And now BC Estimator begins to upload this particular project file to BC Connect associated with that particular design ticket. And again, as noted in other videos, we can return to the BC Connect window and make additional changes to that design ticket, such as the status or add additional notes that we want to make for this particular job. Again, we'll click Save, and those changes are uploaded to the BC Connect site. From here, working on your job in BC Estimator is no different than if you had saved your project on your local system. The only difference is now, instead of just a material list being uploaded to BC Connect, in addition, your job file will be saved on BC Connect as well. One additional difference for files that have been saved to the BC Connect site relates to how you open those jobs in the future. Here we're going to close this job. We'll save it again once more, and the file will be saved to the BC Connect site. And to open it again, we'll go to File, and instead of choosing Open, we'll choose Open from BC Connect. We'll pick our particular location, builder, and project, and the PEDB file for that project is listed. This is the BC Estimator job file. We select it, and then can come and click the Open button, and that file will be downloaded to our local system, and we can continue work on that BC Estimator job file. So whether you like storing your job files on your local system or uploading them and storing them on BC Connect, you can make the choice that best fits your business.